welcome to Grandad's Reviews. Been a little while, took a bit of a break, been on holiday, so I thought I'd revisit a previous video. In previous video I looked at using vintage lenses on your Fuji camera, and I thought I'd look at the most common vintage lens that you can get cheaply, which is the nifty 50. Well, in this case I've got 7 nifty 50s to have a quick look at. Okay, there's 2 Helios in there which are 58mm, so, but I'm still going to call them nifty 50s. These are the cheapest vintage lenses you're going to be able to pick up, and the most common, and that's why they're cheap. So I've got 7 different ones. I've gone out and taken 6 images with each lens, 2 of each item or subject, 1 wide open and 1 at f8, so we can just see what the characteristics and what they look like. I'm not going to compare them to each other. I'm not going to say this one's better than this one or anything like that. They've all got their own character, and they all produce an image that one way or the other is great. So I'm going to take a close look at each lens and then have a look at the images it produced, and then just see what you think. So let's look at our first nifty 50. Our first nifty 50 is going to be this one here. This is the Jupiter 8. So we have a closer look. Now this is the Jupiter 8 50mm or 5cm, and it's got from f2 all the way around to f22. Now the aperture ring isn't clicked or isn't damped in any way. It's very easy to knock. That's the only thing I can say about this. Focusing wise, you've got a handy little tab, and it's quite smooth. We've got a minimum focusing distance of 1 meter all the way through to infinity, and it's got a reasonably good throw on it. It's a M39 mount that I've got here, so you need a M39 to Fuji adapter. Looks good in silver. The markings are nicely highlighted as well. So let's have a look at the images this produces. That was the Jupiter 8. Let's have a look at a different one. This is the Industar. This is the Industar 50. Have a closer look at that. Now this is a 3.5 on the aperture. On this one it's that very front ring that you have to move. And we're going from 3.5 all the way to f16 on this one. The focusing is on this second ring here. This one's not too stiff. Some of these get stiff with the grease. Again, we've got from 1 meter all the way round to infinity. Again, it's a M39 Leica thread, and nice looking lens. Easy to handle, a bit easier to focus than the Jupiter back here. It's all at the front, and the aperture ring certainly is a bit more damped than the Jupiter. It does actually stay where you can't knock it easily. So let's have a look at the images it's produced. Next up, we've got Zeiss. Have a look at this. So this is the Zeiss Jena DDR 50mm. This one is f2.8, f22. It's a clicked aperture ring, and we've got a 0.35 meter to infinity with a very long throw, nearly 360 degrees, isn't it? And we're going to get close as a foot nearly on there, and you'll see in the images how much closer we get with this lens. This is M42 mount, so you need a M42 to Fuji adapter again. The focus is nicely damped, not too stiff, not too loose. And I say the aperture ring is clicked, so it does you can actually use it without looking. If you know that you're at 2.8, you know each click will go half a stop, then a full stop. So let's have a look at the images that this produced. Next up, the Helios 44-2. Nope, I lied to you. The Helios 44M. This one is. This is f2 f16 clicked. Quite, what can I say, industrial in its not nicely clicked. It sounds a bit loose. Focusing on this one, you can go down to 0.55 of a meter all the way through infinity. Again, it's nearly 360. With this one, the grease is getting a bit tight, and then it's a little bit stiff to rotate. M42 mount again, coated lens, and it produces some nice decent images. Certainly got some weight to it. You know you've got a well-built lens in here. So let's have a look at the images this one produced. I've now got the Helios M40 Helios 44-2 lens. This one we've got f2 to f16 on the ring. It's on the front, but it's you can have it as a unclicked ring, or you have what's called preset. So this first ring you set to what aperture you want to stop at. So let's say 5.6. It'll go from wide open. It'll go from wide open 5.6. We can see that. So wide open 5.6. Or if we set it to f16 on this clickable ring, go wide open f16, and you know you're at f16. So if you don't want to go any wider than 5.6, you can set it there. You know you'll go wide open and you'll be at 5.6. If you put it at 16, you've got the full range there. But you can easily knock this. Focus on this particular one. We're down to just under half a meter. We've got, again, nearly a 360 rotation, and this one I've had apart and cleaned the grease and re-greased it, and it's as smooth as silk. M42 mount yet again. So let's see what images this creates. Next up, we've got the Minolta. And this one here is the MD Rokkor f1.7. These are usually clicked. This one's been declicked for video work. So we've got f1.7 to f16. Close focusing, we've got down to 0.45 of a meter, which is just under 1.5 feet. Quite close. Throw isn't quite as far as the Helios ones, but it's lovely and smooth. Another well-made lens, coated, gives some fine results. Obviously you'll need the Minolta MD mount to Fuji to use that. So let's see what results we get from this one. Last up, we've got the Olympus OM. We've got the Olympus OM System Zuiko MC Auto S, made in Japan. Lovely little lens. These are one of my favourite lenses. Got the aperture ring on the front, f1.8, f16, easy to get to, nicely clipped. And then close focus we've got on this 0.45 of a meter all the way around. Lovely dampened ring on it. Lovely lens. Size wise, I mean, compared to the Minolta, it's very similar in size. And you look at the size of Helios, a bit smaller, it's certainly a lot lighter. Beautiful lens, nicely coated. Get some lovely results from this. Let's see what image we get from the Olympus. So we've looked at all those lenses and we've seen what images they create. They all work basically the same way. Some have their own little idiosyncrasies. I mean, the Industar with the front aperture. If you want to see what you set, you've got to physically look down and look at it. But it's not too bad. And then with your Jupiter, say this one's so loose it can move while you're actually walking. So you've got to look. All the rest, the apertures work both basically the same. We're going to need adapters. This one is the KNF Concept M42 adapters. I've got Pixco 742 adapter, and then I've got the M39 adapter as well for these old rangefinder Leica type lens mounts. And as you can see with the images, they're all different. They've got their own character. Some have got better close focusing, so you can get really close and get some detailed, you know, like the Olympus compared to the Jupiter. So if you want to get close, you need something like that. If you want something modern with lens coating, so you don't get so much blooming and softness, then obviously the newer lenses from Olympus or Minolta, or even the car Zeiss type ones, they're all probably the better ones to go for. If you want a bit of character, then obviously these older Jupiters, Industars, and of course you've got the Helios, which is, you know, kind of famous on YouTube, aren't they? Everyone's got one of these. Everyone says, oh, you need to film with them because of the bokeh and that. Yeah. If you're wide open, then yes, you're going to get that swirly bokeh, but you don't always want to be wide open. So they've all got their own features, their own characteristics, their own quirks. None of them are better in one way or the other. They're all give you something different. And I say, they're the cheapest ones you can get, basically. There's plenty of them. Most cameras came with a 50mm as a kit, and so there's a lot around. And I'd recommend, if you want to try vintage lenses, get a 50mm, give it a go. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, give it a thumbs up. That helps the channel on YouTube. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Till next time, see you later.